Hey guys, welcome back to Dragonist Classic. In today's video, we will discuss one of the most confusing, if not, the dilemma of all new and returning players. Which potential do you choose? Raw magic damage or elemental damage? Now we all want to have strong characters, especially when dealing damage to monsters or if you are a DPS role during Nest. And the main concern is whether or not you have the best potential for your weapons and rings. Today, I will make sure you have a clear understanding of the difference. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so the first thing that we need to discuss is how your damage is calculated based on your stats. Now the game follows a complex formula, but to simplify everything, here is the most basic form of the damage formula. Now I know some of you would not mind or won't bother to think about this, it's okay. But this actually helps you to understand what kind of build you will do for your character, especially if you are a DPS build. So let's just simplify everything, and to explain the attack portion, there's really no need for you to complicate this. It is seen under your basic information. Here under attack power for warriors, archers, magic attack for priest, and for mage users. So that's basically it. That's the attack portion of the formula. Now, to explain further, you'll see a bunch of things where it comes from. We have the white portion, the green portion, and the blue portion. Now, the white portion is actually coming from your stats information. So for mage user, we have intelligence as the main stat. As you can see here, it says that if this increases, the magic attack increase if it's the main stat. So magic attack is increased by intelligence, and the 628 that you see here is coming from the stats information. Now the green portion comes from a lot of sources. The main source would be your equipment. That would be your equipment information, enhancement, hidden potential. Also, you can see it from the rings. Some costume gives out magic attack or this portion. Enhancement. We also have your minions. I believe the mounts do give out some stats, but I believe that's gonna be for cash. Because for the costume, this is free, the shiny amber ring. This is given for all characters, so you'll also have this. Alright. And then this on special case, you will see a blue portion. Now this will be a different talk, which would be for the expert skill. As you can see here, I do have the magic attack leveled up. So this is going to be for a different talk, but the blue portion is coming from this source. Alright, so overall, your attack portion is coming from the basic information under magic attack or attack power. Now, as you've seen, the magic attack portion of the hidden potential is already visible, which means that other players will always opt out to choose the magic attack portion versus the elemental damage. Now, the element damage can be sourced out from a couple of equipment, like for example the rings. So for the Twilight Manticore ring, as you can see, it has a dark attack of 3.20%. Also, if you do the full set, it'll give you an additional 6% dark attack. So the big question is this: when will you use the elemental damage percentage as opposed to the magic attack hidden potential, right? That's the biggest question. Well, first of all, we need to check the skill build that you want to do for your character. Now, this is different from all characters, but I'm going to be focusing on my Force user and my Elemental Lord. For now, let's talk about Force user. So whenever you see a skill build for a character, it branches out two ways. So we have the left branch and the right branch. So for Force user, the left branch is pretty much the dark type, and then the right branch I was wrong for this for so long. I thought the right branch is a light attack. It's not. It's just the laser type. I'm just gonna call it the laser type build. So, how would you know if your skill has an attribute? You just need to hover your mouse on a certain skill and you will see there under skill description, dark attribute or what kind of attribute it has. If you hover your mouse on the right branch for the Force user, it actually doesn't have any attribute. I checked. So that's the main problem, right? So even the sorceress has attribute. If you can see on poison missile, it has a dark attribute. So for Force user, since my build, as you can see, I chose Meteor Storm over Eraser, I'm a dark type user. But you might question as well, if I'm a dark type user, why am I not choosing to have the magic attack percentage, right? Great question. So here's the thing. I'm gonna show you first a short clip of the difference between magic attack portion as opposed to elemental damage. All right, so for now, watch this clip. All right, so you've seen the hard evidence that using elemental damage versus just the raw magic damage is significant. I know that 10 difference is like a few in terms of low numbers, but I can guarantee you it's a large difference. Why is that? I'm only using one weapon earlier, and if you focus on the percent increase, 202 versus 212 is like around 9, more than 9, less than 10% increase. And that increase is a lot. And we're talking about one weapon only. What if you change all of your weapon to have the elemental damage, right? Including the rings. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And based on the stats that I've seen, it's always at 8%. So 8, 16, 24, 32% increase is a lot. So if you want to see the overall elemental attack portion of your character, just go to elemental attack information. And you'll see here that my dark attack is increased by 18%. Now, again, back to the question, why did I choose to have the magic attack portion as opposed to having the 8% elemental damage? Well, here's the thing. When I bought the Manticore set here, this decreased my critical chance. So as you can see, my critical chance is only at 48%. It's pretty low. If you are a DPS, roughly your critical should be above 60%. I think my Elemental Lord is just on that portion, 60%, hanging by the thread. So what I mean is this. I chose to have this because it has the what you call perfect potential. A perfect potential is when you have a magic attack portion that includes the critical percentage. It's very hard to get, especially for a weapon, and I have two. So I'm trying to increase my critical rate, including my magic attack portion, as opposed to having elemental damage. But here's another catch for you. If you take a look at all of the things in Trading Hall, let's go to the Trading Hall. Let's see some example. Crystal. I think Apocalypse would be the best example. So, as a perfect example here, you can always see that the magic attack coincides with the critical percentage, but you will never see a hidden potential that includes both critical and the elemental damage. Why is that? If you if you look at the damage formula, it is a multiplier for both, which means that it's too overpowered if you can get critical percentage and elemental attack damage, both. You will never see as well that you will have both elemental and magic attack percentage. That's impossible, except only for unique items like the Sea Dragoness. So let's see. Let's see some example. As you can see here on a unique item, it will have both the magic attack portion, including the elemental percentage, which is overpowered. That is why whenever you have a unique item, I would advise you to get both of it. So the main explanation again as to why I don't have it is because of this. If you take a look at the branches that I have, since it's still cap 40, this will change once we have, change job for, say for example, I forgot about the Force User, but I believe it's Smasher. I forgot the other branch for the Dark type, but for Elementaler, we have Celiana and Alestra. Now this will change. Right now, you can do hybrid, which means that your skill build is focused on both branches, as seen on my build here. So to maximize my damage output, I focused on the magic percentage because I still use Spectrum Shower as my main damage as opposed to Gravity Ascension. And the main dark type damage on my character is Triple Orbs and Black Hole. Now, as you can see, it doesn't have any type of attribute, which means that all of my right branch focuses on the attack, the magic attack portion only, that multiplier. Which means that if I focus too much on dark attribute, Spectrum Shower or other skills that I have from the right branch would diminish. So I'm trying to focus mainly on balancing my build when it comes to the damage itself. But I'll let you see my Elemental Lord in a bit. Alright, so checking my Elemental Lord here, you would see that the focus of my build is solely elemental. I also have the Ice Ring. Alright, so a big question, why is it not like the Force User, right? Well, here's the catch. For Elemental Lord, both skill uses an attribute, all of it, except for Sorceress, which I believe the only non-elemental skill that I use is Poison Missile, which is dark attribute. The rest uses both ice attack and fire attack. So as you can see here, fire attribute, ice attribute, all of my skills uses the ice and fire attribute, which means that for a weapon to have a fire attack and ice attack percentage, including the int plus, this is the perfect potential. Because it boosts all of my damage, regardless of the skill that I use, by 8%. And if we take a look at my elemental attack information, my fire attack is increased by 34%, ice attack is increased by 18%. You might be questioning why I don't have the Apocalypse build, right? It will increase my elemental attack significantly. Well, not really, because here's gonna be the question. If I were to do, say for example, a full Judgment Apocalypse equipment, right? Say for example, the ring. So the problem is this. This will decrease my critical, the percentage that you see here. Although, so you can see here, special attack information, I'm under 60%. By just removing the two rings, which gives me around 720 critical, this will be decreased to 40%. And the Judgment rings doesn't really give much in terms of the critical. It doesn't. Although the magic attack increases, but that's it. Which means that this will actually lessen the damage output. So I'm not opting to use the judgment ring just for, or the judgment set just for me to increase my final damage. And now I'm just gonna increase my overall elemental damage, because again, if you take out the damage formula, the elemental damage is a multiplier as well as the final damage. So I would go for the full elemental damage plus the critical rate, because if I were to lower my critical rate, this will lower my damage output as well, because without it, I'll just be dealing raw magic damage plus the element itself. But the critical would be a multiplier of ×2, plus your critical damage is based on your intelligence for mage, which means that my critical damage as seen here increases, which means that I have more damage having critical plus elemental damage as opposed to increasing it by using the judgment rings. Alright, so I don't want to make this long, and for me, it's not that complicated. It's gonna be different for all characters. Some warriors, priests, and archers, you just have to check your skill build. If you check the skills itself, just hover it, you will see the attribute of which skill you want to use or you want to focus on. But for now, as cap 40, I can guarantee you any character can always do hybrid. So for my force user, it is balance. I go for the magic attack just to make sure that I have damage for my laser type. Now for my elemental lord, I highly advise that you go for equipment. That gives you both fire and ice attack percentage, and then focus solely on critical. This would ensure that you have the most damage output. If you want to increase your damage significantly, just increase the enhancement of both your weapons. I believe that plus 13 would still give me around 300 plus magic attack, plus 200, around 500. So yeah. Alright, so I thank you so much for listening to me and for this video. So I hope this helps you, and for my next video, I'll be focusing on still equipment, and I would be discussing solely on the ring side, all of the rings, accessories. So thank you so much. I'll be seeing you in the next video.